So start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, wait, where's Matt? He's got the flag. Oh, there he is.
There it is. Yeah.
There.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna stand up.
Oh, I don't know. I was just being fun. I'm trying to keep
Hey.
it real.
I'm stuck in my chair.
I pledge allegiance
To the
to the flag
of
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
Stands
one
And
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
with
with liberty,
justice for all.
and justice for all.
We do that much better with the students leading us, let's just say.
Yeah.
When,
That's
in the
true.
old days, when the TV went off, they had the national anthem. My father literally would stand for it.
Yeah,
Man.
sure. Okay, so I'll start by reading the meeting authorization information. As chair of the Sanborn, find that due to the state of the emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I'm confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the Sanborn Regional School Board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has the access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number. It's 1-646-558-8656. And it's meeting ID 972-9805-0135, or by clicking on the following website address. And if you go to www, you'll find the HTTP address to connect with this live streaming meeting. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided on the website of the Sanborn Regional School District at www.sau17.net. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem, please call 978-482-7394 or email helpdesk@sau17.net. If anyone has any public comment, please email the superintendent, t.ambrose, A-M-B-R-O-S-E, @sau17.net. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance with each member stating their presence. And please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. So on my screen, I'm going to go according to how people appear on my screen. Dawn, can you start, please?
Yes, Dawn Dutton. I am in my home. I'm in the basement. My family is upstairs, but I am alone down here.
Jamie?
Jamie Fitzpatrick, I'm in my home office and I'm alone.
Larry?
I'm in my office, in my basement, and I am alone.
Tammy?
Tammy Mahoney. I am in an office in my home and I'm alone.
And Patty?
Patty Haynes. I'm in an office in my house and my husband's right in the next room.
Matt?
I'm Matt Angel. I'm at the SAU office in Kingston. There's no one here.
And the Star Wars guy?
Oh yeah, it's Han Solo. No, Tom Ambrose, Superintendent. I am in my basement office, AKA the man cave, and I am alone.
Pam,
Yeah, Pam Brown, and I'm at home by myself.
Pete,
Yeah, I'm at home, but my wife is in the other room, but she can't hear the conversations.
and Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian Stack, principal at the high school, and I am alone in my home office.
Okay, so the next item is the review of the minutes. To approve the minutes,
Move to approve.
and a second.
Second.
Does anybody have any comment or discussion?
Which one did you approve? The 22nd?
Oh, this is the
Yeah, there are
4/22. Yeah,
two listed here.
4/22.
Okay.
If nobody does, I have something I'd like to put in there. When we were discussing there was a point where we were asking about the difference between the bid that came in quite high and the other bids. And Dawn had raised a question about the piping and some of the other features that weren't in this bid. There was a discussion in there which was transitional to when the actual vote happened, and that was left out, and I'd like to read that in. It's Chair Baker asked who drew up the specifications for the roof bid, and Matt Angel responded, the facilities director, Steve Riley. Chair Baker commented he's comfortable with that, asked for feedback. Mr. Broderick commented, move the motion. And at that point, Larry Heath made the motion to approve.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Yep. Okay, now the meeting, so do we had a roll call vote on that adjustment? Starting with Dawn?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Tammy?
Aye.
You guys have moved around. Patty? Patty? Oh, you don't, okay. Pam?
Aye.
Pete?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Okay, so now the minutes of April 1st. And I think this is, Phyllis pointed out that in the minutes, there's an item that says school district treasurer.
Excuse me, Jim.
Yeah,
I think that vote was on the change.
Yeah,
I'll
oh,
need
it
to
was.
vote on accepting the minutes. Am I right?
which one? The one that we just did?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was on
that was on the change. Now
Yes.
we need to vote to accept the minutes
Right, now we need,
As amended.
on the 22nd.
oh, okay, all right, so we need an additional vote to accept it.
Right.
Okay, all right, so
So
Dawn?
moved.
Yes, in a second, we get a second?
Second.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Dawn, your vote?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
and Tammy,
Yes.
and Pam,
Aye.
and Pete,
Yes.
and myself, yes. And Pete, thank you for your help on that. Okay, now we're going to move to the minutes of April 1st. If Phyllis let me know that in those minutes, the word school district treasurer should have been deputy treasurer. So we need a motion to amend school district treasurer to deputy treasurer.
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
okay. And roll call vote, Dawn,
Yes.
Jamie,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
Tammy,
Yes.
Pam,
Aye.
Pete,
Yes.
and yes for myself. All right, moving on to, has everybody signed? Did you need it on the manifest? Matt?
I still need one more board member to approve the manifest for the latest accounts payable.
Okay, so if somebody could do that, or whoever, if you haven't done it, please do.
If someone could just say aye right now, that would cover Matt.
Aye.
Thanks, Don.
Aye.
You're welcome.
Larry and Dawn. that enough, Matt?
That's enough.
Okay,
So
great.
when you guys get those emails, if you can email Matt back, that really helps because the payroll office has to generate the invoices and checks and things. If you have a question, we're happy to answer it, but just know that those are important and it really does help us to move forward.
Yeah, I approved the first one that was the wrong one. And then he sent out the other one and I didn't get a chance to do, I didn't
Oh,
do that
no,
one.
it's fine. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I sent out the wrong one.
So you're all set.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so Tom, nominations.
Yep. Nominations we have a number of positions that we're nominating tonight. The Bakey School is hiring a special ed teacher, Erica Stack. The Memorial School is hiring a teacher, Jennifer Branch, for 4th grade. Taylor Libby will be a Title I teacher. And the high school is hiring Stephen McDonough for automotive and welding. And Heather Woods at the high school as well for literacy interventionist. So those are the folks on the list there. And we'll go to resignations after that. Sorry, my cats just had a huge cat fight right up at the top of the stairs. I'm so sorry.
All right, so you need motions on those.
You can move the whole group. You don't have to do them individually.
Okay, yeah. So approve.
Move to approve.
And a second, okay. So that was Tammy or Pam and Larry, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And roll call vote, Dawn?
Yes.
Discussion.
Sure,
Point of order,
sorry. Yep,
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman.
Yep.
So just for transparency for the public's, for the sake of the public, I just want to note that Erica Stack is Mr. Stack's wife. There is no policy. I mean, that's perfectly appropriate within the policy. I just wanted to note that in case anyone had any questions. So I guess welcome aboard to her.
Very exciting.
And
She's
the
the
others.
better of the two Stacks, I assure you.
Anything else? Anyone else?
Thanks, Tammy.
Okay, roll call vote. Dawn,
Yes.
Jamie,
Aye.
Larry,
Yes.
and Tammy,
Yes.
Pam,
Aye.
and Pete,
Yes.
and yes for myself. So next is resignations.
We had 3 resignations. Bakey School teacher Caitlin McCaskill, Memorial School teacher Casey Lowe's from grade 5, and our librarian at the high school, Mark Gelucci.
Okay, superintendent's report.
Oh, actually, I think I just need a
Move to
vote.
Oh, we have to
with
approve
regret.
resignations?
Yeah, and I have to say that this group in particular, I am forwarding these with Tammy. What's the nice thing that with regret? And
With regret.
Regret.
I have talked to some of them, and I want everyone in the public and the board to hear that we need to really work together now that the reorganization's done to help to work toward getting in line with the area around teacher pay, because the failed contracts that we've had as an organization, some of these people got huge raises when they took new jobs, like 40%. So when you fail teachers' contracts and employees stay for 10 years, that's what happens. And I want you to know that if somebody receives a $19,000 raise, that not only affects their income annually for a period of time, it also affects their retirement. So it's really important for our entire community to recognize that now that the reorganization is coming to an end, that we'll be working together to try to support teachers, because everyone has reasons for leaving, and I can't get into any of it except that I've talked with some of these folks, and just knowing that teachers' contracts failing does have consequences. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so can we get a motion to approve the
Move to approve with
okay.
regret.
Thank you,
all
Tim.
right, second,
Second.
who was that?
Larry.
Okay, Larry. Dawn, your vote?
Do we need discussion?
Yeah, okay. I guess we had the discussion, but is there any additional discussion?
I would just like to say thank you very much to
Okay.
all three of those teachers, those staff members. We definitely lost some good ones. So thank you all for what you gave to our district. We really, truly appreciate you, and good luck.
Anybody else? Tom?
No, I was pointing to the clapping. Thank you, Don.
Okay. All right. So move to approve the motion or vote on the motion then, Dawn.
Regretfully, yes.
Okay. Jamie,
Aye.
Larry,
Yes.
and Tammy,
Yes.
Pam,
Aye.
Pete.
Yes.
Okay. And myself is yes.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Excuse me,
All right,
Mr.
so I
Point
Chair.
of order.
Mr.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chair. Yeah,
Yes.
I was just
There's
gonna
another
say that
nomination in our folder.
Oh, there is?
Yes,
Yes.
district nomination.
Oh, that's for non-public. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All set?
Okay.
Okay. Tom, you want to go ahead with the superintendent's report?
Yes, I did put a note in when I send out a document to the principals, and I said, please make it a paragraph each this time. So hopefully we can get through this in a few minutes. They're great. They're doing such an awesome job. They just want to celebrate. So I just want you to hear that from my perspective, before I read this update, people are doing continue to do amazing work under incredibly challenging circumstances. And so I just want to take a moment again to thank all of our teachers, paras, custodians, every single person in this organization. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, and I have received nothing but praise from the community. I mean, I've never seen any group of people be more proactive and supportive of the kids in terms of our teaching staff and their overall professionalism, but then to have the community also acknowledge them and see it. Really, in light of a horrible situation, our teachers have made the decision to shine, and I'm really grateful for that. My superintendent's report is that the Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week is well underway. This year, it's especially important to recognize the hard work and dedication of our teachers and staff, everything that they give to Sanborn. We know how quickly and gracefully they were all able to make the transition to remote learning, and our students are better because of it. This year, thanks to Dr. Haynes and her incredibly creative, festive personality, our teachers are participating in a virtual game of games where they take on fun challenges to win prizes. And while we would rather honor them in person, this remote option is certainly building morale and offering a respite from the usual schedule. On behalf of all the administrators and community members, we as a team, we all want to thank our teachers and staff, because they are what makes Sanborn a community, and we are all very proud to be a part of that community every day. And thanks again to Dr. Haynes for organizing the super fun activities and prizes and whatnot. It's been really well received by staff. At the high school is continuing to have good attendance, 95.3% in this month in April. And teachers have been working with their professional learning communities to identify essential standards and competencies that will be assessed for each course in order to determine proficiency. And with the challenge of remote learning, it's not possible to access all of the standards and competencies to the same degree, but we're certainly working on that, and the team is working hard. The school counseling team has put out a variety of resources for students and families to help them cope with the stress and anxiety that they may feel as a result of this pandemic. Our school administrators have been working closely with us at the central office to develop a comprehensive set of plans to help close out the 2019-2020 school year. And last Thursday, the school inducted 11 new students into the National Honor Society via a virtual ceremony. I just want to say congratulations to Zachary Soma, Diana Gibson, Maxim Lucier, Alexis Wood, Nicholas Lucas, Taryn Lynch, Eleanor Cotter, Madison Houghton, Hayden Lytle, Mariana D'Amelio. Brian, did I say that right?
D'Amelio, yeah.
D'Amelio, and Isabella Pederosi. How'd I do, Brian?
Pretty good.
I practiced
Read
ahead
the
of time
names.
because last year I got caught by 10 very challenging names. So I remembered this year to practice.
Sounds like you could read the names for graduation. I mean.
No, I'm good. All right, we'll let Tammy Mahoney handle that.
Good idea.
I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So for the middle school, they had the shortened during vacation period, and during that time, a lot of middle school staff spent Monday, Wednesday, and Friday preparing for the move, which will begin next Monday, May 11th. So the middle school is being moved in 4 days to the high school and memorial school. The teachers practice social distancing procedures while packing their classrooms. The custodial team, along with Steve Riley and Matt Angel, have been instrumental during this process in making packing and moving the whole building possible. And really, truly, I have to say that Steve and Matt have gone above and beyond. There really are no words. I can't explain what it's like. I mean, they have just been amazing. And the teachers, the guidance and administration, they continue to support students and their families in that balance between the academic requirements and recognizing the complex emotional needs of our students during this challenging time. Teachers are currently working on the end of the year preparations, including an 8th grade celebration and a slideshow to highlight the wonderful students. And I do just want to take a moment to step off the script a little bit. And I want to say thank you to Christine DeRocher. So everyone knows that Christine is currently serving as our assistant principal. And when Mr. Rutherford retires at the end of the year, she'll take over the reins as principal, because with the grades 7 and 8 being at the high school, we won't need 2 positions. But Mr. Rocher has absolutely exhibited what I would consider to be exceptional leadership. Her boxes are all color coded. They're all ready to go. Matt walked through the building today and he called me and said, I've never seen anything like it. The place is ready to move on Monday. So I just want everyone to hear that Mr. Rocher's had a huge hand in that. And we are very happy to have her be a part of our team this year. She's been a great asset to our school district. The Bakey School District, the Bakey School staff continues to work diligently every day to plan to deliver instruction around the essential standards that have been identified for each grade level. They continue to have strong student engagement with a daily attendance of just over 96%. And more of our students are using virtual meeting platforms and are able to see teachers and classmates in real time. The technology that we were fortunate to distribute for use at home is truly making the difference in achieving such a high level of participation. And plans are coming together to address a number of end of year needs, including a virtual 5th grade moving on celebration. So Mr. Snyder will be sending out plans about that in our big update this week from the administrative team. The Memorial School staff has been balancing remote learning with the first stages of packing this last week. Many staff members spent time on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday packing student belongings, as well as their classroom in preparation for the elementary move. They just wanted to say a big thank you to the Memorial School custodial staff, who've been working very hard to ready the building for the 2 moving dates that are fast approaching. So the elementary schools will be moving a week after school gets out, and we'll talk about that more when we talk about the final day of the year. This week, the teachers will continue to engage in remote learning while also working with their grade level counterparts at the DJ Bakey School on class placement. So they're working hard on class placement as a grade level team between the 2 schools. This is an important task in light of the reorganization, and the staff will make decisions collaboratively and mindfully to put students in the best position to be successful in the fall. And the 5th grade staff administration and the Memorial PTO are also putting plans together for a 5th grade moving on celebration. The Memorial School staff has been amazing as they juggle all of these important tasks on a virtual platform. And we do truly appreciate everything that they do for our students in the Newton community. Special Education Department is diligently working on support staff placements for the 2021 school year. All paraprofessionals were informed on Monday, May 4th, which, by the way, is my favorite day of the year because it's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. That was Monday. And everyone received their placements, and the coordinators are looking at IEP needs and assigning paras to specific student needs. The special ed department is also working with the Department of Ed to get new program approval for next year. Now that we know our staffing, the basics and in-step, it's delayed because you have to provide the names of the teachers and paras working in the program. So it'll be fine, but she's working through that process. The student ESY, extended school year decisions, have been determined per their IEPs, but the department is holding off another week to start looking at staffing. We really are waiting to see if we're going to have to do that remotely or not. If we can continue to do it in school, we would prefer to do that. So we're holding on as long as possible. But there's a point where we have to make staffing and transportation decisions. So Jody is working, Jody's back now. And by the way, the baby is adorable. Just saying.
Yay.
We're very happy for Jody and her young family, and the baby's just absolutely wonderful. And so Jody's back and she's working on ESY, and we'll know more at the next school board meeting. We would prefer to do it in person, so we're kind of we're going to the last minute on this. The business office recently had a bid closing on the middle school, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming agenda item. And as of April 30th, 2020, the district is reporting a cash balance of $3,476,793. The business office recorded $33,020,792 of general fund revenue through the same period. However, $4,757,805 remains uncollected and is reported on the district's balance sheet as accounts receivable. This is normal for this time of year. I don't want anyone to worry. We're just giving you the numbers because it's good to give you an update. We anticipate issuing another tuition invoice to Fremont School District and collecting the second school building aid payment from the state. We have spent $3,508,729 for health insurance. We've encumbered an additional $1,069,232, which should bring us to the end of this fiscal year. Again, this is all normal. This leaves us a remaining balance of $402,606. And for all other expenditures, we also have spent $22,237,832, and we have $6,273,757 encumbered but not spent yet. The amount remaining is $1,533,499. We anticipate projects that will impact the remaining balance, such as the middle school bathroom and locker room, the memorial security entrance, and the book room renovations at the high school. So just as a disclaimer, these are all estimates, and it's still early May. We'll be getting final numbers toward late May, early June, or even toward the end of June, just because of the gravity and depth of all the projects that are going on. So that concludes my superintendent's update. We'll have more information on graduation and the business office part of the bathroom and the modifications to the high school. I do want to say this. I couldn't speak more highly of everything our staff has done. They're doing remote learning in COVID-19. They're packing the schools. It's hard. It's frustrating. And I am very, very, very grateful. Thank you very much, everyone. I really can't, there's no way to say it. So words feel feeble at this point, to be honest. So thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Okay, so committee reports. Pam, I think policy met, and you have something in addition regarding evaluations. If you could take us through that.
Tonight. And I was elected to chair policy by a narrow majority.
I didn't have anything to do with that. I came right out of it.
You're into it.
So no, I'm glad to do the work, but it'll be an interesting relief to be done with the major review of our manual. So it shouldn't be too bad this coming year. We recapped what we had done this year so that Ms. Dutton would be up to speed, and we discussed some of our goals for the coming year. I just kind of recapped for the viewers what policy does and what we don't do, our constraints. And I warned Ms. Dutton that if she has any aspirations for major policy reforms, she should get over those rather quickly, because most of our policies are mandated by federal and state RSAs, and we don't have the legal budget to challenge anything important. So there are things we can do and there are things we can't do, but you find that out quickly. So our next meeting is on June 3rd at 5 PM, and we'll begin discussing goals.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, you wanted to know about evaluation.
Yeah, evaluations, yeah.
So I was
School
digging,
board evaluations.
yes, I was digging through some files and I realized that I had drafted a one-page self-evaluation report for our school board over the past 2 years. And I am willing to draft a summary again this coming year. But we are due to do a self-evaluation this month and set goals at our next meeting, hopefully. So I will forward a draft of my self-evaluation for the board, and I'll forward it through emails.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next report is facilities. Facilities met on April 29th. The attendees were Jamie Fitzpatrick, Larry Heath, Matt Angel, Tom Ambrose, and Jim Baker. The meeting was called to order at 4 p.m. Started by selecting a chair. Jamie Fitzpatrick nominated Jim Baker for committee chair, and Larry Heath seconded, and the vote was all in favor. We did a review of the minutes of March 4th, 2020. Larry Heath moved to approve the minutes and Jamie Fitzpatrick seconded. The vote was all in favor. We reviewed the revolving fund balances. Jim Baker briefly reviewed the fund balances, and Jamie Fitzpatrick noted that the new funds voted on in 2019 are not appearing on the fund balance spreadsheet, and Matt was going to add those in, which he has done. Budget reports. Jim Baker briefly reviewed the budget reports. There was no further discussion. There was we did the bid opening for the work at the middle school laboratory and the locker room renovations. Matt Angel reviewed the bids for the middle school lavatory and locker room renovations project. We'll review that and make recommendation tonight. The last thing remaining for the transition is paving a small area at the high school. Matt is collecting bids for that. And Matt updated the committee about the memorial school entrance. At least a portion of the construction work will be done by district staff. Matt is to design. The plan is to cut through one concrete wall for a door and then add another concrete wall for a new door, and then add another set of doors for the entrance vestibule. Only half a wall needs to be built with concrete. The last thing remaining is paving for the small area at the high school, as I mentioned. The new items and the rest of the items on the agenda were information only and were tabled until the next meeting. Larry Heath motioned that the meeting go into a non-public, and the meeting adjourned at 4:25 p.m. to go into non-public session. The next facilities meeting is May 20th at 4 p.m. So the next is finance.
So Finance Committee met today. I'll report on that. The next meeting from April 22nd was the meeting prior to that. Jim Baker called the meeting to order at 4 p.m. Jim read the required information on virtual meetings based on governor's emergency order. Attending were finance subcommittee members, Jim Baker, Don Dutton, Jamie Fitzpatrick. All members were at their homes alone in the room. Also attending were Matt, Tom Ambrose. Jim Baker nominated Jamie Fitzpatrick as chair of the finance subcommittee, second by Don Dutton. All in favor. Review of minutes, James Baker motion to accept, second by Fitzpatrick. All in favor. Matt Angel reviewed status of the revolving fund. The balance of special education fund was $240,569.42. The balance of the capital improvement and maintenance reserve fund was $172,596.89. Matt noted that $25,000 had been transferred in per the warrant article. The expendable trust capital reserve and facilities use is $193,866.46. Fitzpatrick asked and Matt confirmed that there had been no expenditures from these funds since the last review. Matt Angel reviewed the status of the budget reports on expenditures and revenues. Health costs currently have $413,000 in unencumbered funds after accounting for the balance of the year health costs. Jim Baker asked if this would be left over after all spending accounted for the fiscal year, which Matt confirmed. Baker noted that this was the amount that was spent below the budget and that this had been the same in the last few years. Superintendent Ambrose agreed that this has been the case. There's a lot of variables in the cost and is very influenced by changes in the number of people selecting family versus single plans, for example. Matt identified the unencumbered non-health related funds were presently at $1.613 million. Superintendent Ambrose pointed out that 6 areas that still need to be addressed and funded this year are the roof repair at Memorial, front entrance revisions to Memorial, paving at the high school, water piping for the science labs, modifications to the locker rooms, and the bathroom. The administration will provide estimated funds for these in the next meeting. Also, there was discussion on the use of unfunded balance versus use of reserve funds for items like memorial roof repair. The differing options were, one is use reserves only when unencumbered are available at the end of the year. Or 2, use reserves when spending items arise that relate to the purpose of the reserve, as that is what they were created for. Matt reviewed revenues, and there's presently, so let me just go back to that's not in the minutes, but it wasn't resolved. That was just a discussion. So it's not a conclusion there. Matt reviewed revenues, and there's presently 2.01 million of revenues still open. However, 1.014 million is use of unfunded balance, and this is not a collectible amount. Basically, it's not a collectible amount because it's a budgeted net income loss, which for all intents and purposes simply means that we spent less. So Matt also reviewed the cost and the benefits to the new proposed accounting system. The old system will no longer be supported in the near future. New system will save about $30,000 per year over current annual cost. Implementation and one-time costs are $76,000. The new system will also allow ACH payments and improve efficiency in the office. Questions remain on availability for the system to allow public and direct board access. Alternate software proposals are on the $300,000 range. Also reviewed was that it would take. Also reviewed was what it would take to have a no tax impact. So last year the school board retained $400,000. This year, $850,000 in unexpected funds are returned along with the $400,000. This would entail basically a no tax impact on both towns, pennies either side. Tom discussed concerns of impact of COVID-19 as a risk to revenue for next year. We may need to put some money aside for that next year to cover that risk. And bus company costs, we have continued to pay as we did expect such a long outage, and also we still may need the services later in the year. They are not incurring costs that they would have previously incurred. The administration will address this with the bus company and work collaboratively with them for reduced costs. The meeting was adjourned at 5 p.m.
Thank you, Jamie. I think that's it for committee reports. Is that right? Okay. So the next item is Tom, high school graduation.
Great. I just wanted to take a minute to preface this because Brian's going to walk us through a slideshow for this one. Mr. Stack has worked really hard with the administration at the high school to try to figure out a plan, but I have a few things that I want to share before he shares the slideshow. So first of all, we all recognize that this is a very, very challenging situation for everyone involved. Probably the most emotionally draining component of the COVID situation has been high school graduation and the prom. And I just want everyone to know that this has caused a great many people sleepless nights and a serious level of concern that I really can't portray accurately. Again, it's just hard. That's the only way to put it. We really appreciate all the parents that have given feedback, and they've offered creative solutions to both myself, Mr. Stack, and other administrators. And we have listened to all of those pieces of feedback and considered deeply what the best route of action is. We have consulted with a number of other districts in the state, and this plan is congruent with the plan that has happened in a lot of other districts, although not all. And the plan that you're about to hear does comply with guidance from the Department of Education, DHHS, and the CDC. So we vetted all of that. Uh, the local authorities support the plan that you're about to hear. We are asking that parents support this plan even if you don't agree. Something of this magnitude normally would mean that 30% of people agree, 30% of people are indifferent, and 30% of people are very much not going to agree. We understand this. And we are asking that we present a united front for the children so that they can have a positive end to their public school experience. I'm specifically directly asking people that they contact us if they have any questions or concerns. Do not take to Facebook. I will not respond about this issue on Facebook. I want everyone to know it right now that I have seen some very horrible, inappropriate things said to students and about staff on Facebook about the mascot, and I will not do that over this issue. So if you want to talk to me about this issue or Brian, you need to contact us via email, tambrose@sau17.org or bstack@sau17.org. And let us know you have a question or a concern. If you take to Facebook, we will not be responding. Out of respect for the kids need to see the adults together to help them get through this. So for those of you who do not agree with this plan, I want you to know that I really, truly understand that this is hard. And I support you 100% if you don't agree. It is not easy. So in light of the situation, what we've tried to do is to give every student the same type of experience that they would have if we had an in-person seated graduation. And the caveat to this plan is that if the social distancing rules should change suddenly, the plan may change suddenly. So this is the plan as of today with the current social distancing rules because we have to start moving forward. So please, we need to come together to make this experience positive for the students. And we will work to do whatever we can to help do that. So at this time, Mr. Stack is going to share the plan. And we thank you for all of your input and feedback. And we want you to know that we're thinking of all of the students as we do this.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ambrose. That was a great introduction. Appreciate that. So and thank you to the school board for having me tonight, just to talk a little bit about what our team came up with for a plan. Mr. Ambrose has already kind of gone through the different levels that we went through researching different plans and arriving at this. This plan comes to you tonight, and I really, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the work that we did, and I'm proud that we were able to, I think, create some opportunities for our kids to have something really special in the face of everything that they've been dealing with. So, you know, as Tom said, the pandemic has led to a number of challenges, most notably the end of year activities for our graduating seniors. And before I get into graduation itself, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the other events that we have, because really graduation, the ceremony itself is just one small part. We have upwards of 25, 30 different school-wide events that were impacted by the pandemic between April, May, and June. The events actually started the very weekend we went into our pandemic and our closures. Our musical was supposed to open that night, and it got canceled hours before the kids ever took the stage. So really, it goes beyond graduation. But our team, we went through all the different end of year activities that we have between now and the end, or between March 16 and the end of the year. And we decided that we could basically do three things with them. So some events we're going to be running or we already have run in an alternative or virtual format. There were some events that we were going to postpone. We can postpone until a later date when it's okay to run that event with social distancing rules lifted. And there are some events that we just have to cancel completely. And I'll just kind of summarize those for you. I want you to recognize that we'll be putting out more information on some of these specific events as we get closer to those events. But these are the events on this list here that are all alternative virtual events that we're going to be running or we have run. Good example, National Honor Society inductions. We held those last week in a forum almost identical to this one. And the kids did a great job putting that together. I have an email waiting for me tomorrow morning from the Drama Club talking about doing the same thing for their awards. I had a text message earlier today from the band teachers. They think they can make a go of a virtual band concert. So our staff has really been working hard and reaching out to try to find some different ways to keep some events going for some of our kids. There's some events that we're postponing for the fall for different reasons. Some are obvious reasons. The musical, we have to wait and see if we can do it. But if we get to the end of the summer, our seniors leave us and they go on to other things, it may not be possible to run that event if we can't have enough cast members there, right? The prom, it's a big event. That's something that we just have to wait and see. Right now, for example, we have a tentative July 30 date in pencil with the venue, but they've also offered us other dates in the fall. We don't have any seniors in the French Honor Society being inducted, so they can move that to the fall, and 8th grade move up building tours, those sorts of things get postponed. Some canceled events. The choral concert, I don't know, now that we've just got new news with the band concert, that choral concert may come off that list, but the jazz concert is getting canceled because they haven't had time to work on that music. Obviously, we're not doing state testing. The senior honor recognition dinner isn't going to happen, but we are, of course, honoring seniors with scholarship awards night. That is going to run in a virtual event. We can't do the cruise, and we're not doing spring sports awards because we didn't have a spring season, right? So those are some obvious things that are getting canceled. But now let's talk about the graduation ceremony itself, because that perhaps is the biggest event that our school district runs all year. On average, for an outdoor event, we have upwards of 2,000 people out on the field cheering on our 150 to 200 graduates every year. It's a really special time. You know, we have a lot of traditions tied to graduation. Our students ring the bell twice in their high school career, once on the first day of freshman year and once at graduation to signify the beginning and end of their time at Sanborn. We have bagpipe band that plays. We do speeches from students and staff members, and it's just, there's a lot of tradition with it. So it's hard to try to find a way to be able to do all the things that we do, and kids see that they're missing out. They want to have these opportunities, but people have come to realize that we're just not in a position to do that yet. We are proposing tonight that we do hold graduation on Friday, June 5th, which would have been the regularly scheduled date for graduation. You know, we talked a lot about whether or not we wanted to put it off, see if the situation changes later in the summer, early in the fall. And there are certainly some school districts committed to doing that, but we really felt it was important to have closure for not only our graduates, but their families, our staff. Everybody needs to be able to have some closure to this school year and be able to move into what's next, especially if what's next is going to be a little tenuous right now. So we do feel it's important to do the best job that we can with a ceremony on the 5th. So this is what we're proposing. About a week before graduation, so I'm going to go tentatively with the date of May 28th, we're going to invite graduates to come to the school because there are items that they need to pick up and drop off with us before they can graduate. They have to drop off their Chromebooks. They have to pick up their cap and gown and their yearbooks. We will have had scholarship night as a virtual event by then. So we have graduation cords and pins and plaques and awards and all sorts of things like that. So we're going to come up with a pickup day protocol for students so that they can basically, we'll survey them. We'll find out what kinds of belongings, in addition to the things I listed, they need. And then we'll have them basically sign up for an appointment, come to the school parking lot, and we will deliver their items to their car for them. It'll be very orderly. We'll have everything queued up in the gym. In fact, we've already started setting up the gymnasium so that we can do that. This will be an opportunity for seniors to get everything. They need to take everything that they might have in their lockers, anything that they didn't already get, which is could be a lot of things. Underclassmen, we'll deal with that as a separate issue, and I'm hoping they don't necessarily need to get everything because at some point they will be back. That would be the first part. By the way, I cannot see any of you, so if someone's raising their hand to ask a question, you got to speak up or just wait till I'm done because I can only see my slides right now. So the first part of the ceremony, what we're recommending, so this would be on Friday the 5th, is at 4 o'clock, we would run a live internet broadcast from the auditorium. And this would be the traditional parts of the ceremony that we have with the singing of the national anthem and the delivery of a couple of student and staff speeches and a couple special announcements of student awards that we historically give out at graduation. The auditorium would virtually be empty other than the people that are going to be coming to the podium to deliver one of these speeches and a couple of people who are helping with support. But really, we're asking all the graduates and their family and friends to be watching the first part of this ceremony from their house. Then at 5:15, what we're going to ask is that all the graduates report to the Bakey School / Sanborn Seminary campuses to be lined up for a car parade. We're going to have one car per graduate, and the Kingston Police are going to have things set up so that when you arrive, cars know where to go. There's not necessarily going to be an order to the parade. We're not worried about alphabetical order or anything. We will have a separate small area for some of the student council, and there are a few people that historically go at the beginning of graduation, so we'll have an area for them. Otherwise, it'll kind of be, first come, first serve to get a spot in line for the parade. And the parade will then kick off at 5:30 with the Kingston Police. And actually, I'm hoping some of our other emergency responders from our other two towns. I talked to Newton yesterday, and I'm planning to give Fremont a call, hopefully, if things are approved tonight. We'd love to have all three represented, but starting at 5:30, the parade will start to make its way through town on its way to the high school campus. This could be a great opportunity for graduates to decorate their cars. It could be a great opportunity for community members to decorate their cars and come park on the side of the road and cheer on our graduates. This is something that we've never done before. So if you're looking at this map, I'm circling with my cursor where the seminary and Bakey School campus is, and we'll make our way down Main Street, down the Bartlett House side of the Plains, and we'll continue along Main Street. This is where the police station is. We'll turn on to Danville Road, and then we'll move our way up to the high school here. Now, once we get to the high school, we're sort of phasing into the third and final part of our ceremony, and that's the diploma distribution. So I will tell you, I met with students on 2 different occasions. I've met with the senior class, and I've asked them, what is the single most important thing that you want to have at your graduation that you feel like needs to be there? And the kids unequivocally have said, we want to walk across the graduation stage the same way we would have had we been sitting there in front of all of our friends and family in a big crowd. We said, okay, we'll see if we can make that happen. So we're going to, as the parade finishes, the cars are going to come into the high school campus. And I'll show you a map in a second. They're going to be lining up all the way around the school. The police are going to be probably ensuring that we don't have other people on the campus and probably posting some no parking signs on 111. We are really encouraging people not to assemble right off the property. We don't need big crowds. That doesn't really help our case here. We're going to be live streaming this last part with the diploma distribution, and there's no reason folks can't be watching from home or mobily on any of their devices. We're talking with a bagpipe band that historically plays at graduation, and we're hopeful that they will be able to join us as the parade is finishing on the campus in some fashion. So what we're going to be asking graduates to do is, one at a time, each car is going to have the opportunity to pull up to the front of the school, and the stage will be set up right in the front of the school. For those of you who were here with us when we opened the building back in 2006, you might remember we actually had the stage in the front of the school. We'll have a tent over it. We'll have ramps to get on and off the stage, and it'll be right there. It'll be a great backdrop for kids see their school for the last time. But what we'll do is we'll have the car pull up. We're going to ask the family to stay in the car. This is both for safety reasons. It's also for time, under sensitivity of the time it would take for all family to get out. At least this is our plan right now. So the graduate will get out. Either they'll ring the bell or somebody will ring the bell on their behalf. They'll walk across the stage. They'll pick up their diploma that will be on the table for them. And then we're going to have Hochmeyer Studios, they're our school picture company, take a professional photo of each of our graduates. That would be free of charge. All of our graduates will get a photo that gets mailed home, so family and friends have a nice memento. There'd be an option if they want to order additionals, of course. This is just a map showing you what that would look like. So the blue line represents where the parade would come in, and the cars will be looped all the way around the building. They'll be stopped right here, and then one at a time, this is where cars will come up. Graduate will get out, get back in their car, and go. And of course, we'll have a few stations set up so that graduates can be queued up. We're trying to be very mindful of how long people would be sitting in their cars and waiting and watching. Of course, they can watch mobily while they're in their car what's happening on the stage, but we don't want this to become a 2 or 3 hour ceremony. So we'll have it pretty much staged so that, every 30 seconds or so, there'll be a student walking across the stage, getting their picture taken and moving on from there. So in closing, I'll just say this, we know that what we're pitching tonight is never going to replace the traditional ceremony that we've always had, but it does have some new features that we hope for our graduates, it's going to help them stand out and be unique, as they are the class of the pandemic. They are resilient. They are going to make the most out of what they have in life because of the experiences that they've had during this pandemic, of which graduation is just one piece of it. And we're really hopeful that the community will come together and celebrate the amazing accomplishments of our class. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the last day of school.
Well,
Tom.
actually, we need to have a motion and a second to accept this plan and any comments from the board, because this is a huge process.
Okay.
I'm sorry to slow you down a little there,
No,
Chairman.
that's fine. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the proposed plan as presented.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Jamie?
For opening discussions. I think it's a good plan. I think I haven't seen people, the parade, I've heard of people doing parades. I haven't seen a setup whereby you're still going to provide a stage and walk across it. That's pretty innovative to me in terms of trying to find a way to make this work. I think that's some good work and some good thought process. I think we're going to have some logistical issues around the front there, but that's neither here nor there. So I think it's it's a well thought out plan as to how do you try to do something appropriate in a situation that's just plain out not good, rather than using other words. So thank you. I think it was well done, well presented. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, anybody else? Tammy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So as regarding the plan, I think it is about the best you could do under the circumstances. I personally want to just express how sad and I am to the students of this class. I know what you're giving up. I know the impact from, having been a parent who's had a child go through. I'm so sad. I just feel so sorry. I hope that this plan is something that everybody will get behind. And I want to recognize every student from this class. I, of course, have had the honor of bestowing the diplomas on the graduates for the last couple of years, and I was looking very much forward to doing that again. and being part of the graduation. It's a wonderful ceremony. And so I don't even know what else to say.
You can join us on the stage if you want to. You just have to stand 6 feet
I'd
from
be
Brian and I.
happy to do that.
I mean, that'd be fine. We'd be happy to have you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Not about me really, but I do, I would be privileged to be a part of the.
And there will be some add-ons that, I gave you sort of the skeleton plan. Of course, we're going to do some things that we can to try to make it a little bit more special, as long as we can fit them into restrictions. A good example is we have a huge tradition where faculty form a tunnel and they celebrate and honor all the graduates as they walk on. I would imagine I will have teachers who are still interested in doing something like that, and we'll figure out a way to weave that piece in, provided we can do it in a way where everyone can stay safe. So it will, again, you said it perfectly, Tammy. It's unfortunate, everything that's happened. Our hearts go out to the kids because they really are the ones losing out in all of this. But I do think and hope they will be resilient through all of it, because they've shown some great resolve already. They really have, given everything.
And I just want to acknowledge to everyone, it's okay to grieve. This is sad and it's hard and it's scary. And I don't want anyone to think that we support everyone in the grieving process of the loss of the class of 2020. And we tried so hard to give them everything, like Jamie said, walking across the stage, ringing the bell, having their bagpipes. We tried to include every element as best we could. And we just also want to be clear that we are asking people to please stay in your cars. Right? I know it's going to be awful to stay in your cars and not want to get out and see each other. And the nurse was really concerned about people hugging and getting out of the cars. And we just told her, we said, we have to trust people to do the right thing, because to do anything less than what's proposed just feels wrong. And so Brian and I will be personally placing the diplomas on the table on the stage, and then standing 6 feet apart for the kids to have a photo with us in the photo. And certainly, unless Mr. Baker wants to do that job this year, if Tammy would like to join us, we welcome that wholeheartedly, and we share in that feeling of loss. But on the other side, we have such amazing kids. Like I know they're going to be fine because they have us. They have an amazing community. They have a family of the community that will support them. And so we're just going to try to make it memorable and as fun as possible.
Yeah. I asked the senior class council the other day not to give the school a class gift. I said, I know every year that the seniors do it, but I said, I really would like you to take that money that you would have spent on a class gift and spend it on a reunion, whether it's at Thanksgiving or whenever you're able to meet. And reunions have kind of gone by the wayside for some of the more recent classes, but this will be the class that will benefit from that. They never had that final senior cookout, family cook, so I hope that they'll take advice and do that, because I think that'll be their final, celebration together when it's appropriate to do so,
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea, Brian. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I just wonder, Jamie brought up, the logistics aspect of it. And I'm just wondering, I'm sure you have plans to communicate all the processes and expectations and how you want things to work.
Yes, absolutely. So Tom will be doing some communication towards the end of the week, global, a lot of different things. But then, yes, after that goes out, as the high school will be putting out different information, not overloading everybody all at once. And the day of the event, we're expecting to probably hire twice as many police officers as we typically do. Just from the parade aspect, we're going to need more, but then we'll have extra assistance, even, pulling the cars in and keeping cars moving and where they need to be. Absolutely.
And we're going to take care of bathrooms, because every time someone uses a restroom, we have to clean it.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll get some porta potties staged around the campus in a couple different spots. We'll use our concession stand bathrooms so that we don't have people coming in and out of the building. So there's levels of details below this plan
Right.
we didn't bring up. And also too, there are things that we haven't, and because I do want to go back now, I'll bring this back to the kids and say, well, now that you have the skeleton of the plan, can you think of some ways that we could personalize it to be more meaningful for you? You know, so I want to include them in that process. Yeah. But I mean, we reviewed a lot of plans. And when I say a lot of plans, I mean a lot of plans. Pretty much if it was something you saw on Facebook that somebody was doing around the country, we got it. And we thought about it. And we thought about the logistics and the pros and the cons. Everything from traveling stages on trailers that go to every house or buses that go to every house to driving movie theaters in the parking lot to trying to paint boxes in fields and see if everybody can stay in boxes. I mean, we really, and it, you know, but it really just boiled down to having an event of this magnitude and trying to make sure that everyone has a level of comfort. You know, there are some people who say, now be fine, don't worry about it. And others who are scared to death over the thought of having to possibly go into a situation that might become what they perceive as unsafe. And we just felt like this really was the best option to meet everybody's needs. Because as Tom said at the beginning, every one of our kids has a right to be able to have closure and participate in the ceremony and feel like it's appropriate and safe for them. So that's really why we fell where we fell with it. I talk weekly with 50 plus high school principals on a Zoom call just like this. And graduation has come up almost every single one of our meetings. And I would say 40 out of 50 of those principals are pretty much doing something that's within 1 degree of variation from what I just described to you. There's only a few that are really sitting out in some kind of a different spectrum, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to take a quick moment before we move forward and just say, I think I've talked to Brian every day about this, but I also, Brian's leadership in this matter has been exceptional. And Brian's leadership team has been phenomenal. I've participated in a number of calls with that team, and he has facilitated a process that has been incredibly inclusive of all stakeholders. And it really has embodied excellence in leadership. And I just want to take a moment to thank you, Brian, for all of your hard work. And again, I want parents to know we totally understand that some people may not agree. We're okay with that, but please come to us so that we can work you through that, so that we can be united for the kids.
Absolutely.
We want this to be as positive as possible. Thank you, everyone.
Jamie, you had your hand up.
Um,
You're all
It's a
set.
detail. I'll just drop a note.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah. Great
Awesome.
job. Great job, Brian.
Thank you. I
Excellent. Yeah.
appreciate that, everyone.
That's beyond anything I would have imagined. So kudos to you and your
Yeah.
team.
So could we have a vote from the board?
Yeah.
We have a motion, right?
Yeah, we have a motion and we have a second. So I'll call the vote. Dawn?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie?
Resoundingly, yes.
Okay. Larry?
Yes, I agree
Okay.
with Jamie.
All right. Tammy?
Yes.
And Pam?
Fine.
And Pete?
Yes.
And myself is yes.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Awesome. And I will, now that I'm not really on the board, I will exit this meeting.
Including
Live
16 other
public.
things.
Was waiting for this.
Yeah.
We have more praise to bestow on you later.
Oh yeah, that's right. Why don't you stay on for one more minute here, Brian?
Okay.
It's perfect for you. All right. So the last day of school. So I think that it's important for everyone to know that we have a requirement of a number of hours that we have to meet the state standard for school. And so we looked over the amount of hours that we've been in school this year, how many hours we will be. We talked to the state, we talked to other districts. I talked to the DOE myself about this. Patty did some analysis, and we've come down to a date of June 2nd as being the final day of school for Sanborn students. And that does include the transition to remote learning and the days that were forgiven by the state and all of those various aspects. It complies with the DOE. mandates and regulations. So I'm asking for the board to just give us a vote that we could end school on June 2nd. I just wanted you all to know that we've thoroughly analyzed this and we feel that that's an appropriate date to end school.
Okay, motion on that?
Mr. Chairman,
Move
I
to
move
approve.
that,
Okay, Tammy, Larry, you want a
Second.
second?
Whatever.
I just did.
Okay. Any discussion or comments? All right, move the motion. Dawn?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, Jamie?
Aye.
Larry?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Pam?
Aye.
And Pete?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Thank you very much. I just want to remind everyone that that is the last day for students. The last day for staff will be roughly, Patty, can you remember it's about a week and a half later.
It's about the 18th of June.
Yeah, about the 18th, but we need to talk about a few things and kind of get a little more information on that. But in terms of the number of contracted days, that's when it would wrap up.
Okay. So moving on to the vendor selection for the middle school lavatory and the locker room construction at the high school. The facilities committee met over this the past two meetings, and the bids came in. There were 4 bidders: Paxar Construction, Mark Carrier Construction, Eastern Seaboard Construction, Points North Construction Management, and Points North Construction had the lowest bid, followed by Paxar Construction, Eastern Seaboard Construction, and then Mark Carrier Construction, Inc. During the facilities committee review, Matt Angel noted that 3 of the bidders did walkthroughs of the building. They were Paxar, Points North, and Eastern Seaboard. The bids cover all the remaining work for the middle school interior construction, including bringing water to the labs. And the only additional cost would be water and electrical components if we run into an unknown that requires a work order change. But most likely that would not be a substantial amount of money. Let's see. There's also a set of doors on the second floor that will be will separate the middle school from the high school that needed to be added. That's something that may be done in-house, and Matt's working on that. At the end of the review, the committee concluded that Points North bid is the most complete and the best price at $210,147. Matt has since reviewed their references, and he's also physically visited their work, and they said they check out very well. Our additional cost estimate for the bathroom, this is very interesting, was $197,309 plus another $14,204 for the water to the labs. That's a total of $211,513. The original estimate for the locker rooms was an additional cost of $211,642. And that was based on converting a classroom into a locker room. And this is where we have to applaud Brian Stack, because he came up with a phenomenal idea of using the visiting team locker rooms for the middle school. These are currently used on nights and weekends by visiting teams, and they're available the entire rest of the time for the middle school students. The entrance to the locker rooms is being redone to separate the high school for the middle school, and the change resulted in a savings of just under $200,000. So thank you very much, Brian, for coming up with that. That was great. Once the bid is awarded, the project will begin as soon as possible and will be completed on August 10th. So Matt, you may have some things you want to add in.
I think you gave a very complete summary of
Okay.
what transpired. So excellent.
Okay, so if I'd like a motion to select Points North Construction Management as per their bid to be the vendor of the middle school lavatory and locker room construction at the high school.
So moved.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion or questions, or Jamie?
I'll just make some of the comments that we talked about in the facilities meeting. Yeah, I appreciate all the extra work. I mean, there's a million things going on in this transition.
Right.
It would be easy to simply say, these are the estimates. We just need to do this. We don't have time for all this other stuff. We're going to use people that we've used before. We're going to use the estimates that we had before. We're going to do that in the midst of COVID and everything else. Matt got us some references that kind of got me to, yep, this is the right one. We're not missing anything. And then drove out himself to check out the site points north and be able to report back on not just, yes, they're really doing something there, but how they're working, how efficiently they're working, how well they're organized. Just some good work there. And to your point on Brian's, still thinking about ways of how do we do this more effectively and more efficiently. So that's it would be easy with everything else going on to not have done those things, and appreciate that people stopped and did them anyway. Thank you.
Great observations, Jamie. Thank you.
And I'd like to agree with you on that, Jamie. They have done an excellent job.
Thank you, Larry. Tom?
I want the community to hear that these two people just saved us $250,000. Thank you, Matt and Brian. $250,000. It was worth staying on the call, huh, Brian?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. He's happy his wife got a job.
Listen,
He's like,
I gotta be honest, like the building is my second home. I've been in it for 15 years. I've been there since literally the day we moved in. I know it inside and out, and so it's easy for me to offer the expertise and think through something like that just because I can think through the logistics. If I can offer that and there's savings to be had, it's fantastic, so I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
It reminds me of the hero when he's getting the alley of praise, and he just said, "Oh, it's just this is part of my job."
Yeah, well,
thank you.
It actually kills me. I've only been in the building twice since March 16th. It's crazy.
Right.
I've never spent that much time away from it. So, but thank you. Much appreciated. All right. I'll let you finish your meeting now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because we're going to trash in the next section. You don't want to be here for that.
I'll be watching. I know.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Let's move on to the vote. Dawn?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie?
Aye.
Tammy?
Yes.
Pam?
Aye.
Pete?
Yes.
Looks like Larry's disappeared.
Larry's right here.
Oh, he's
Oh,
there.
there you are. Okay. You're sitting back in the recliner. Okay.
You're right.
What's your vote, Larry?
That's a yes.
Okay, and I'm a
Yes.
yes. I'm a yes also.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get to work right away tomorrow. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's see, where are we here? Medical supplies update. Tom?
I just wanted to let everyone know that we did receive the shipment of masks. I think it was, how many masks, Matt?
2,000.
So if we have needs, we have received masks, which, I've been holding it together all night. I can hold it together a little bit more here. The numbers are rising.
Oh my God, come on.
We're looking at 3,000. We just broke almost 75,000 deaths. And I know that New Hampshire's rural, but we'll keep our supplies close to home and ready for our community. That's what I have to say. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're ready to help when it's time if we need to. Okay.
Any requests for the next meeting agenda? And if not tonight, you can.
Yeah, just you can shoot me an email.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, the next Sanborn Regional School Board meeting will be held via remote connection on Wednesday, May 20th, 2020 Please visit the SAU17.net website for the links to the participate. And we're going to need a non-public session. If Larry, you want to do the honors?
Sure will. I move that we go into non-public session for RSA 91A, :3, :3, Roman numeral 2.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Second.
Any discussion? All right. John,
Yes.
Jamie,
Aye.
Larry,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
and Pam,
Aye.
and Pete.
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. So let's bring the public meeting back to order. And we need a couple of motions.
Mr. Chairman, I think you need to notify the public about Dr. Brown.
Oh, right. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Brown is, yeah, she has audio. She's connected by phone, but not by video.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of the non-public session be sealed in perpetuity.
All right.
Cool.
Cut out.
We need a second.
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 Any comments, discussion? All right, vote. Pam?
Aye.
Tammy?
Yep.
Jamie?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Okay, so now we need a couple of motions. One on the new hire. If somebody wants to make that.
So that would be a motion to hire Gordon Parks as our interim tech director for the 2020-2021 school year at a salary of $92,500.
Okay, so we,
Mr. Chairman,
So
so
moved.
moved.
okay.
There you go.
Jamie, are you
Second.
second? Okay, Tammy
Yeah.
second.
What? Yeah.
Whatever. Whoever.
Roll call vote. Tammy,
Yes.
Jamie,
Aye.
Pete,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Pam.
Aye.
Yes, for me too, as well.
Welcome to the team, Gordon.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Gordon thought he
Thank
knew
you.
me well before. Now he's part of my team.
Right. You get the calls at 5 a.m. too, Gordon?
Good luck,
Yeah, I
Gordon.
get 'em at night right
You
now.
know,
Good luck, Gordon.
Thanks.
Gordon, the only person who calls you at 5 a.m. is Jamie. And if he calls, just don't answer. That's what I do. All
Okay,
right.
so now we need a motion on the couple of days for the teachers.
So the motion would be to, at the conclusion of the 2019-2020 school year, the Sanborn Regional School District will allow teachers to end their school year 2 days early as a one-time, non-precedent setting gesture to say thank you for all that they've done during the incredibly difficult COVID-19 crisis.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Second.
Second, okay. And roll call vote. Pam,
Aye.
Tammy,
Yes.
Jamie,
Aye.
Dawn,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
and I'm a yes also.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been nice seeing you all. I miss seeing you in person, and I really do look forward to when we can meet as normal again.
Without hazmat suits.
Yeah. Great.
I
Okay.
will buy everybody a cocktail. I think you've all learned it.
We're officially adjourned.